Hi everyone, welcome back to Between Worlds Tarot. In today's reading, we are going to look into what is changing in your life, what is leaving, what is awakening, and where your energy is trying to guide you right now. So this reading is going to be about transformation, energetic movements, breakthroughs, identity shifts, and the unseen forces that are reshaping your path behind the scenes. Before we start the reading, if you ever resonate with these readings, please subscribe so we won't miss any future readings, and because it really helps the channel grow. Comment down below and press the like button. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you will find my email in the description box below. You can always email me. You can also DM me in my TikTok or Instagram account. And if you are interested in love readings or relationship guidance, you can check my first tarot channel, which is Between Realms Tarot. You can always find the link in the description box below or in the bio of this channel. Thank you so much for staying through this intro, and let's head to your pile selection. For today's reading, I have 3 piles for you, represented by 3 AI generated oracle cards. And so for pile number 1, your oracle card is going to be the Monarch Butterfly. For pile number 2, your oracle card is going to be the Blue Morpho Butterfly. And for pile number 3, your oracle card is going to be the Cloudless Sulfur Butterfly. So as usual, take a deep breath, exhale slowly, let go of all of your thoughts and your worries for this moment. Choose the pile that draws you the most. You can definitely choose more than one pile if you feel drawn to. This reading is timeless and it will resonate whenever you find it. You will find the timestamps in the description box below, and if you have picked your pile, let's start your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you have picked the Monarch Butterfly, this is going to be a reading about what is shifting in your life currently, so let's start your reading. So, pile number 1, I feel like you're standing on the edge of a huge leap or shift here, and as much as I'm trying to get where is this specifically happening, I feel like it's kind of reaching out to every aspect or every corner in your life. And so it feels like a directional turning point in your whole life chapter. With Mars here in the 3rd house in Capricorn, the shift affects the 3rd house here. It's your mindset, it's your decision making, it's your willpower and courage, and what do you really kind of strive for in life. Mars being in Capricorn shows me a level of maturity that you're reaching here. It's almost like you're no longer dispersing your energy in meaningless pursuits. Mars in Capricorn brings discipline and it brings strategy and almost like this mature and wise use of your energy. You're not kind of again overusing your energy or kind of just not using your energy. You're not lazy, but you're not also workaholic. Mars in Capricorn in the 3rd house brings a serious laser focused energy towards kind of being boldly alive, almost like seeking your ambitions with bravery. And so you're maturing, pile number 1. Putting it into one word, you're kind of outgrowing many old versions of yourself and you're becoming somebody who is more wise and more disciplined than ever. I feel like you've been always this disciplined person. Sometimes you are always working on yourself, and currently it's becoming intrinsic to you or kind of integrated within your nature. And it's almost like you're going to see where is all of that hard work going, or you're going to see some type of a result in the future, and it is going to be a positive one. It's almost like you're going to understand why your life kind of worked or kind of was playing the way it was. And so with the full moon here, surrender to the divine, it feels like it's a huge, again, turning point, but I'm trying to get a specific theme, like maybe it's relationships, maybe it's work, maybe it's life purpose. What is it? And I'm not getting one thing. I'm getting that your life reached a culmination, maybe a specific thing, maybe many things, but something reached a climax point. There is a point of illumination where things can no longer be the same anymore. You're entering a new chapter in your whole life. It's not one theme, it's many things across your life. And you seem to be more kind of not aggressive, but more intentional towards your ambitions and your wishes and dreams. You're asked here to in a way, kind of look into what is exhausting you and what needs elimination from your life. The important thing here is for you, or is the fact that you're not surrendering passively. You know where to exactly put your energy. So it's very interesting. It feels like a life theme or a change of chapter here. So there might be things that are being revealed to you about your life that or illuminated almost, that need to change, or that need to go, or that need to come true, even such as wishes coming true. And I do see many things coming towards you that are your wishes even, or that are things that you were hoping for the longest time ever. So you're no longer able to maybe control the timing of this, or it's happening. It's almost like the wheel is turning and there's no way you can direct things right now. I feel like because you have already done so much enough. And currently I see you here with the white rose of hope in a beautiful energy, because you seem to be standing in a place of uncertainty, a place of darkness, maybe even pain. I'm not seeing much pain as much as uncertainty, and I feel like you still have hope. You're still trying to find the light in the middle of confusion here. So you're not fully there to where you want to be in life, but you're still navigating the darkness, and it is all happening with faith here, and with hope, and with optimism. I see you being like kind of deriving a lot of hope and happiness, even like you're trying to find contentment in your life right now, and you're trying to find fulfillment through the even the dark times that you are going through right now. So you're not loudly excited, because you are, I see, realistic here, especially with Mars in Capricorn. You're very, very realistic, and you know where things are going down and where things could be kind of moving towards, but you're still awakening hope within you. You know that no matter how hard it gets, you have something to look forward to that is hopeful. Maybe you can always also anticipate what is of a meaningful opportunity or a meaningful door that can be open for you at this time. You're looking forward to positivity in your life, and that is very good here. So I see you here with the strength. This is your current field of energy, and you seem to be trying to stand along despite the pressure, almost surviving, controlling your emotions, holding yourself together, and you're trying to stay composed here. You're trying to again hold yourself together and not fall down to the pressure, to the anger, to the fear almost. And you're trying to maintain your grace, and you're trying to maintain your self-control. And so you are definitely in the middle of transformation, but you're doing amazing job, pile number one. There's a lot of strength within you. Again, I do see you being very intelligent about how you direct your energy. Maybe you know what fights to pick here. You're choosing your fights. You're not, again, wasting your energy. You're not wasting your feelings or emotions. You are very, very held together, and that is definitely due to your own inner strength. There is this quiet confidence and survival instinct to you currently. It seems like there is what's been an underlying tension in this shift that is going on here is some type of a mental restlessness. I feel like you're looking forward to something, or you're trying to find something, or you were. There was a lot of tension coming from a place of you seeking answers, maybe looking constantly for answers in your mind, in your thoughts, or even around you in the external world, watching, anticipating, trying to understand something, maybe even not living in the present moment, living in your head, trying to think things through. So you were actively seeking for something, for clarity. You were actively seeking for clarity, you were actively learning. And so I feel like you might have sensed that something needs to change. And so what caused the change or the shift is your pursuit of clarity, your pursuit of truth, and your kind of openness to what can come through as the truth here. But the sun here feels like you got that truth, and it feels like even bigger than you have expected. I feel like you were seeking an answer, or you were seeking a change, and the sun came in, and it seemed like the biggest truth ever that you can get, because the sun brings a lot of illumination. It illuminates everything. I feel like you were brought into a place of clarity, and a lot around you that you were, I feel like you were looking for maybe a truth or clarity around something or about your life in general. And instead of you being exposed to kind of maybe one thing, or like this amount of information or of clarity, you were being like exposed to all of it, like the whole scope, the full scope, and even maybe multiple perspectives of whatever you were going or you were asking for to be clear about. And so again, maybe illusions lifted, maybe your curiosities were satisfied and satiated, and it feels like the truth is even more bigger than you expect here. A lot of maybe authenticity even awakened within you. And so it's almost like somehow you realize what genuinely makes you feel alive and authentic and connects to who you truly are. The Eight of Pentacles here shows me that the breaking point is consistency. You have been putting the work in with the Eight of Pentacles. You were consistent. You were very focused on your craft here, whatever you were doing. Again, maybe it's a whole life thing, or maybe one theme in your life, but you were trying to build something. You were constantly working on yourself. Maybe it's self-improvement that you were working on, but you were self-improving, you were mastering, you were trying to refine something or your life in general, and you were disciplined and serious and dedicated and also detail oriented here with the Eight of Pentacles about it. And it's almost like this big truth here that is related to your self-expression or your authentic self, and whether you want to live really resulted from that amount of work that you were putting on. It all culminated, and it brought you this huge amount of clarity, and so you no longer fit in a small container anymore. Maybe you were working on your habits, maybe you changed your standards, you became more intentional again about your life and about your future, and all of that caused this big breakthrough here. You got serious about your direction and about your life. And so again, the life that resulted from all of that can no longer fit, or you can no longer fit into the old version of you. And so it's not a dramatic moment. It did not result from like out of a sudden, out of nothing. No, it actually resulted from a repetitive work that you were doing again and again. The Ten of Cups, though, shows me that what's being released in your current shift here is something of an ideal, something that seemed like what should life look like. Maybe you were attached or you were genuinely satisfied with what or a vision about of how should life or how should a fulfilling life be or look like. Maybe there is even a family conditioning that is being released here. That old vision of what happiness means can no longer stay, and it's changing, it's being released by you. You're releasing that old vision, or maybe you're releasing an old family conditioning that you were told that it's the ultimate truth, in a way. And so you're outgrowing what you have thought brought you or fulfillment, or what you have thought a meaningful and a fulfilling life should look like. And with the Seven of Cups, you're being presented with new possibilities. It's also it's almost like life is trying to tell you that think again about your options, dream again, remember that there is a lot that can be possible for you. There isn't only one thing that can be possible for you. Here at the Ten of Cups, the Seven of Cups can show that you have dreams that can be achieved, you have desires, and there are multiple paths that you can walk according to. And it's time for you to explore again what fulfills you or makes you happy. A lot of possibilities are reopening in front of you that can be sometimes overwhelming, because suddenly life stops becoming about one thing. It changes, and a lot of possibilities are in front of you, and you're allowed to dream and achieve those dreams even. The Ace of Pentacles shows me that with the Star, definitely there is a new door opening for you, maybe many new doors, especially with the Star. You are definitely being led towards new paths or a new beginning that could lead you towards grounded opportunities, a tangible new chapter. The Ace definitely shows an opportunity entering your life that is significant, that could especially before the Star energy, that could open your eyes to a complete whole, like a complete new experience in your life. The Star definitely shows alignment with a higher path or with an authentic version of you, but it also shows healing, it shows hope and renewal. And so you're definitely righteous or rightful, let me say, when you are kind of being in this hopeful energy here despite the uncertainty that you are going through. So you're reconnecting with your authentic self, and through that you're opening a new door towards more healing and renewal and a path of real authentic fulfillment, rather than something that you were taught that should be happy or that should be fulfilling. The guidance that I have for you here, so that you can integrate this transformation in the healthiest way possible, we have the card Transformation. And this is how significant it is according to our butterfly readings here. So it's a transformation. As you see, this is a caterpillar. This card specifically says that it's almost like there's nothing you could do to change or to stop the transformation, because it seems to be peaking from now on. It seems to be going up from now on. Not going up, it's actually peaking, means like going down. So oh my god, that sounded wrong. So but what I meant is that the transformation is just happening and the shift is happening. There's nothing that you can do that could have maybe kept you in the Ten of Cups energy. Maybe you feel a bit regretful, or you feel maybe shame or regret around how things are going, maybe around how things are leaving your life without you being able to keep them, or without you being able to convince situations or people to stay in your life. And so you're being told here with the transformation to understand that this is a part of a bigger picture, and that this is an opportunity for growth. You're not losing here. And whatever is being lost, it's leaving space for something new and something more growing rather than something that limits you. So you're being asked to embrace this transformation. Again, there are things that you cannot control. And the best way through is to let it be, is to let the transformation happen and the shift happen, because the more you resist it, the more chaos you infuse in it. And despite the uncertainty can feel very, very overwhelming, the best thing to do is to just let it be and not resist it or regret it, because you did not ruin anything, you did not destroy anything, you're just growing, and this is a natural result of growing. So I'm very glad that the old self, literally here, like your old self cannot survive the next chapter. You're growing through this transformation, and you're being asked to not beat yourself up through it, to not resist it, to understand that things that are leaving are simply not fitting into your future self here. So pile number 1, this was your reading. I truly hope it resonated for you. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you won't miss any future readings. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can find my email. Please email me in the description box below. You can also DM me in my Instagram or TikTok account. And if you'd like to maybe look into love readings or relationship guidance, you can check my first channel, Between Realms Tarot. Also subscribe so you won't miss any future readings, and the super thanks button is currently activated there, so if you feel drawn to support me or my channels, you can definitely do that. Your support is really appreciated, but it's never an obligation. Thank you so much for being here, pile number 1, and see you next time. Hi, pile number 2. If you have picked the blue morpho, this is going to be a reading about what is shifting currently in your life. So let's start your reading. So pile number 3, I feel like specifically what's going on currently in your life is pushing you towards connecting with who you truly are and being yourself boldly without feeling as if you need to suppress yourself or kind of keep yourself hidden or enmeshed with others so that you keep harmony. With the sun here in the 7th house in Aries, maybe this is related to one relationship, but maybe it is related to many connections, or what do you do in love relationships in general. There is a theme here of this shift affecting your identity within relationships, maybe romantic relationships, maybe not romantic. It depends on your situation, really. The 7th house represents one-to-one relationships. They might be romantic, they might be marriages, commitments, or they might be even just partnerships in business, in work, stuff like that. And so this transformation is pushing you towards becoming more self-defined in relationships and asserting yourself more clearly, becoming more bold, being authentically and apologetically you, not being uncomfortable within visibility, and no longer abandoning yourself to keep harmony or to avoid conflict with others. With the moon here, you are good enough, the full moon in Virgo. The theme here is also kind of, were you always, pile number 2, did you ever have the theme of or operate from a self-effacing point of view, where you thought that you're not good enough, or you thought that you needed to work on yourself more and you needed to put more effort into who you truly are? And so maybe you were kind of, or you put yourself in situations where you always prioritized another person's needs and opinions and desires over yours. And so right now it feels like you're becoming more aware of the fact that you are worthy of your presence, of more also priority. You don't need to improve where you are already enough. Constant improvement is already needed, and it's something that we strive for all the time. But maybe you were overly doing it. Maybe you were overly not fair towards yourself. Maybe you were overly perfectionistic and you were not giving yourself the credit where you should have. Maybe again, there is like you acted in relationships as if you were not worthy. Maybe you worried and you measured yourself so harshly against others. So there was always this prioritization of others, instead of giving yourself enough credit for your work and for who you truly are. With the journey here, I feel like you're currently maybe realizing that you need to enjoy life more, realizing that you do need to sometimes stop and smell the roses, the cheesy quote. You do need to stop and smell the roses. You do need to give yourself credit also. You do need to enjoy the rewards of your achievements and of your work, hard work, that is well earned. Maybe also you do need to find equals, people who are wishing you well, people who wouldn't want you to minimize yourself for them. And so I feel like during this shift, you might be choosing to stay or to have a lighter mood and to stay playful and exploratory. I feel like you're choosing to stay more emotionally open. Even if your external life is changing and even your identity is changing with it, I feel like something inside of you wants movement and experience again. You're more open to new people, to new experiences. You're craving freedom and adventure and spontaneity in your life, and that is a very good sign. You're kind of managing this shift in your energy very, very positively. And with the Hermit here, this is where you are currently, pine number one, and pine number two, excuse me, not pine number one. And so maybe you are currently kind of keeping a lot to yourself, withdrawing your energy from people, maybe not showing a lot of the struggle or a lot of the introspection that is going on within you to others. Maybe you're more distant from the outside world. I feel like this is the energy that you are currently in, and this is a Virgo energy too. The Hermit energy is a Virgo energy, and this also shows introspection for the sake of self-improvement. So you might be isolated, trying to discover deeper truth about yourself and deeper realizations about yourself. I do feel like maybe you have withdrawn yourself from a specific person, or a lot of people where you have been. You guys, I'm sorry, I apologize. My bird, Apollo, is very, as you can hear, very, very communicative right now. So yeah, as I was saying, maybe there is one situation, relationship, or a partnership of some type, or this is how you are operating, not only in one but in many. Maybe that those were situations where you have always prioritized the others and you have put yourself second. So you're maybe isolated, or you're trying to find time to understand these current patterns of yours, and trying to self-improve, even trying to understand this pattern. It seems like at some point there was a lot of confusion within you before this shift started, and I feel like there was an emotional overwhelm. Again, it's almost like you were not seeing clearly, or you were being a bit self-deceptive about the truth of what is really going on. I feel like for a long time, as an example, and I feel like this one would resonate with a lot of you, you have always thought that you are less than, or you have always thought that you cannot be equal to another person unless you kind of work hard and you self-improve all the time, you were always self-critical, trying to improve, trying to reach a level of perfection, and you always thought that somebody or a lot of people around you were better than you, or you always needed to kind of be as ideal as you can so that you can be equal to them. And I feel like that came from a self-deceptive place rather than the truth. I feel like that was never the truth. I feel like you were kind of deceived by yourself or by something in your past where it brought you to that kind of state, and it made you believe that you're not enough, and you were never enough, and you're always trying to be better, while it was just coming from like maybe denying the truth. I feel like you were emotionally overwhelmed and not seeing or refusing to see the truth for what it is, which is that you were always good enough. You never needed to do more to fit in, like with a group of people, with a certain person. And I feel like at some point with the Eight of Swords, the situation became unbearable. Maybe you felt trapped at some point, like you cannot, you never felt as if you've reached that space that you wanted to be at. You never felt that there was a point where you felt completely satisfied and secure in who you are. And I feel like that was a mental trap where maybe you were afraid of making mistakes, more mistakes, or becoming even worse. um, you were overthinking who you are, and so the cage, it's almost like a cage or a trap, a mental trap, a psychological trap here. It's more of a psychological trap than a physical trap, and that is what triggered the shift, when with the Ace of Pentacles there was a tangible kind of opportunity or something that kind of opened your eyes into the truth here. Because after the confusing energy of the swords, the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups, you know, the most confusing card is the Seven of Cups in Cups, and the most confusing card in Swords is the Eight of Swords, because in this space here we can feel as if we can never get out. We can feel as if we're forever trapped, and I feel like you were feeling as if you were trapped for the longest time ever. But with the Ace of Pentacles, something acted as an eye opener. Maybe somebody, maybe of an outside circle, recognized you. Maybe somebody gave you an opportunity, or maybe there was even an opportunity that was not given to you, that was something that you have noticed, or a move, or an offer, or a job opportunity. Something tangible and real opened your eyes to your potential, and that is actually what is the breaking point, and what actually caused the shift in your self-perception here. And so with the Queen of Cups, it seems like what's being released is a lot of emotional over-identification. Maybe you over-identified with the role of the caretaker, with the role of the compassionate person, somebody who's the nurturer, the most sensitive and even empathetic person. And so maybe you were over identifying with the role of an attachment here. And so it's time, or within the shift, for you to leave that over identification with the emotional world, or it was an unhealthy identification where it caused you to be self-effacing. You had the ability to see where people come from emotionally and where did they struggle. You had the ability to be empathetic and to kind of provide that emotional world for others. Maybe there was an issue of, if you ever feel like there was a version of you that was codependent or dependent on another person or other people for emotional validation, it's time to release that, or this shift is causing you to release that version of you. And the Emperor here is what is being activated, and this is boundaries, this is a lot of self-respect, this is confidence, and this is finally choosing yourself. This is finally taking, let's say, an authoritative stand over your own power, your own personal power and confidence. You're finally taking leadership about around your self-image, and you're becoming even harder to emotionally manipulate because you're no longer identifying yourself with the emotional one. Not that the emotional one is something that is not good or that is negative, but too much of a good thing is a bad thing. But so you're shifting to a stronger self, to somebody who has authority over themselves and over their future and over how they want to show up in the world and also in relationships. The magician here shows me that you're moving towards taking kind of your manifestation in your hands. You're moving towards taking your destiny and your life in your hands, more personal agency. You are taking responsibility and accountability of your actions and of how your future is becoming. So the direction of this shift here is you realizing that you have the power to shape your reality, and you have the skills and you have what is necessary to shape your reality and your future. The final card that I have for you, which is a guidance card, it is the truth card. And this one talks about how what is the best way for you to integrate this shift here is by seeing the situation clearly. You no longer need to distort the truth or avoid or deny the truth. Your best weapon or your best companion is you being honest about how do you feel and about your desires and about what is no longer working. You need to see the truth of where do you stand and who you are and whether you are good enough. You need to see that. You no longer need to distort it for another person or for other people. And so the best way for you to move through this shift is to embrace the truth and the clarity and to never distort it for other people. And to rise above confusion so that you can gain a higher perspective. It's very important for you to have a higher or an all-inclusive perspective around or of the situations that you are within with other people. So pile number 2, this was your reading. I truly hope it resonated for you. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you won't miss any future readings. And if you are interested in love relationship guidance, so you can find my second channel link. It's not the second, it's actually the first channel, so you can find my first channel in the description box below. I have many love readings there. You can check them out. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can find my email in the description box below. You can also DM me in my Instagram or TikTok account. Thank you so much for being here, pile number 2, and see you next time. Hi, pile number 3. If you have picked the cloudless sulfur butterfly, this is going to be your reading about the shift that is currently happening in your life. So let's start your reading. So pile number 3, I feel like the shift of energy that you are going through right now is something that you feel deeply, because it feels like it's moving you from a very dark place into a place where you have more autonomy over positivity, even a place where you can have more peace with yourself even. And so with Venus here in Cancer in the 5th house, there is a lot of joy that is trying to enter your life, or that you are attracting or kind of craving even. Venus here in Cancer brings a lot of emotional sensitivity. I feel like you're naturally somebody who's very emotionally vulnerable and sensitive and soft, and you have the capacity to have deep emotional attachments. And I feel like when that happens with the wrong people or in the wrong situations, a lot of it goes into south, like immediately goes south, and it can drain you. It can really put you in a dark place. And so in the 5th house here, I feel like you're craving what you love. You're craving more joy in your life. You're craving creativity. You're craving safety and like playfulness. And so I feel like what's shifting here is you trying, or it's your desire to, or your intention to experience more emotional vulnerability and openness and playfulness in your life. And that is what is what is bringing. I have just destroyed the setup here, but let me fix it. So yeah, as I was saying here, your intention and your desire of bringing more joy in your life is what's bringing this shift in your life. And so, first of all, here with the full moon in Scorpio, it's time to release negativity. This is literally what's going on. It's almost like the shift is purging your emotional world from any shadow, like the things that feel hard, the things that feel shadowy and dark, the things that feel vindictive, or even the things that bring intense feelings and resentments and toxicity. So in this shift currently, you're purging all of those feelings from your space, and that can seem like anything that brings that feeling of resentment or darkness into your space. You're craving Venus in Cancer in the 5th house, and as a result of that, you're purging your psychological and spiritual space from anything that feels emotionally heavy. And so that is the theme of the shift here. You're releasing situations, relationships, anything, like even physical things that can involve grudges or obsessions or paranoia or mistrust or fearful attachments. So yes, the card says here that any suppressed emotions too cannot stay buried anymore. And so like you might be even not purging from your outside space, but also purging from your inside space. So a lot within you that might be toxic or emotionally consuming can be resurfacing for you, so that you can purge it and finally integrate the lesson out of it. The gardener here though shows me that you're doing a good job when it comes to having healthy boundaries. I feel like for a long time there was you were working on yourself. You were somebody who learned how to care for themselves, maybe the hard way, and maybe you were building a lot, or a lot is going on for you that you are feeling right now in need of protection. You feel like you need to protect your sacred space, or the things that you have built for yourself, from the things that can kind of intrude and maybe ruin your progress for you. And so it's interesting that we have this card that is literally about having healthy boundaries, and then we have the card retreat, and we have the full moon in Scorpio. We have the Nine of Wands here in your energy, interestingly, because the Nine of Wands talks about you being in an energy of somebody who's very exhausted, very kind of tired from previous experiences that caused you burnout. They caused you exhaustion, and now you're being guarded and defensive, and you're trying to be cautious about who and what do you let inside your inner world. You're trying to be resilient and protect yourself, even emotionally and energetically. And so it shows that you're definitely currently fatigued or burned out from a lot of kind of fighting and defending yourself against external or internal things that are messing with your inner peace. And the Tower here shows me that a lot was shaky. It's almost like a lot in your life was not stable. A lot of things, structures related to, again, situations, relationships, work, your life in general was not really stable. A lot of things, like you were trying to hold things together that can no longer be held up. A lot of disruptions were going on in your world, and you were fighting intensely to keep up and to keep everything like standing still, but it's almost like that can no longer happen. The Tower here shows that you were resisting change. You were resisting the things that need to go, or that needed to leave, and you were keeping them in for a long time, and that caused you to lose joy. And so resisting the things that needed to end, resisting much needed endings, caused you a lot of fatigue and burnout trying to hold things together for a long time. Now, it feels like something that triggered this final breaking point is the Three of Pentacles. And I feel like maybe somebody or something outside of you kind of helped you see your own value more clearly, helped you see where you can be helped, or you can cooperate for others, where you can delegate the things that kind of were really causing you a lot of exhaustion. It's a very grounded here catalyst. I feel like definitely maybe something kind of, it's almost like you were holding together a disaster of some type, and then something or somebody came in and stabilized or kind of triggered a lot of stability rather than like a drastic or a catastrophe of some type. And so somebody or a group of people helped you understand your value more clearly again. Maybe it's an advice from a mentor, or guidance, or maybe you were learning from others, maybe colleagues, maybe it's about teamwork, or maybe you were working on something with people, and through those experiences you learned that you don't need to go through all of that pain alone, because it definitely caused you to lose a lot of joy in your life. The Ten of Wands here shows me that this shift became definitely unavoidable for you, where like the exhaustion became too heavy to carry on. And so finally you realize that you were carrying too much alone, and eventually it needed to be released, and you reached a point where you no longer can sustain that survival mode that you were in. You definitely was working hard here with the gardener. You were being very diligent about building something for yourself, and it's almost like you built yourself from zero, and you were alone for a long time even, and you did not find support for a long time, and then support came in, and you understood that that lifestyle can no longer be sustained, and that it cannot sustain you, and that at some point you're gonna have to release it. It's time for you to cooperate with others, and it's time for you to release where you thought that you have to identify with being overly hardworking, or and so through this shift here, it seems like what's being released is, at the end, excessive withholding with the High Priestess. Maybe there was a lot of, I feel, suppression of intuition or misuse of intuition. Maybe you did not honor your gut feeling, you did not honor your emotions and your inner knowing here, but also can manifest as, really take it as it resonates, pile number 3. This can manifest as releasing, a position where you were internalizing emotions, and so rather than clearly expressing them or acting towards them. And so also you're releasing suppressing inner truth. Again, this might resonate differently with each and every one of you, pile number 3, but either way it can deeply affect your inner intuition, your inner knowing, and how you navigate your life through instinct. So the King of Swords here shows me what's being activated, and this is clarity through truth and through intellect. A lot of I feel like you're releasing identifying with pain, or over identifying with pain and toxic feelings or emotions, and you're activating living your life through more mental clarity and healthy boundaries, through more logic, like taking a logical action, or taking logic, thinking or seeing things through a logical perspective, and through objectivity, maybe not taking life so personally or so seriously, and being more kind of discerning about it, having healthy boundaries with exhaustion, or with being overworked or overwhelmed here. And so you're moving more from being emotionally overwhelmed and guarded and secretive, maybe even suppressing intuition, towards a place where you are more mentally strong and self-controlled. And so you're becoming sharper about what you tolerate and what you believe about yourself and your life, and what you truly want from life. And you are definitely welcoming in more joy here with Venus in Cancer. The direction of this shift here seems to be the Two of Wands. So I feel like there are more opportunities that you can look forward to once you have released all of this baggage from the past. Once you have released these burdens and identification with pain, there is a lot for you to look ahead for. You're considering new paths, you're envisioning a different future, you're preparing, you're planning for movement and for new things in your life. It's almost like you're standing at a new chapter in your life here. With the final card that I have for you here as guidance, we have the Retreat card. And this card from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, it's a beautiful guidance for this shift for you, because this one says for you to slow down and protect your energy. The best way for you to integrate this shift and this transformation is through reflection, is through you taking rest when you feel like it's necessary without feeling guilty about it. But it's also understanding that, you know, life goes through ups and downs. Everybody almost goes through ups and downs, and there are times where you need to have more solitude and time for to strengthen yourself internally. So definitely your life is shifting, and you need to learn how to preserve your energy for big shifts, because this card also says or talks about how a lot of changes that are maybe unexpected, not in a negative or in a positive way, they are just life movements that are headed your way and that need your complete focus. And for you to be that ready and mentally prepared for them, you do need to clear your energy from any external or internal distraction, to calm your nervous system and to recover and rest, so that you restore and also preserve your energy for these upcoming changes that are entering your life soon. So pile number 3, this was your reading. I truly hope it resonated for you. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you won't miss any future readings, and because it really helps the channel grow. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can find my email in the description box below. Please email me. You can also DM me on my Instagram or TikTok account. And if you are interested in love readings, you can definitely, or relationship guidance, you can definitely check my first channel, Between Realms Tarot. You can find the link in the description box below or in the bio of my channel. Thank you so much for being here, pile number 3, and see you next time.